Hello my dear friends, as you all know, we are about to start our chapter that is tracing changes through 1,000 years. In this chapter, basically we will learn about what happened in the span of 1,000 years. First topic is cartography. Now what does cartography means? Cartographer prepares the map of an area. Who prepares the map? Cartographer. Okay. Now what happened? It was in 1154 CE, that is Common Era, that an Arab geographer Al-Idrisi prepared a map of the Indian subcontinent. Okay, in 1154 CE, Al-Idrisi prepared a map of Indian subcontinent. Now after that, in 1720s, a French cartographer prepared the map of same area, but it was quite different from that of Al-Idrisi's map. Okay, means that map of two area was different from each other. One needs to be sensitive to different historical backgrounds while reading documents, maps and text of the past. While making a map, one has to be sensitive about different historical backgrounds, reading documents, maps and text which are written in the past. Now let's come to new and old terminologies. The context in which information is produced, its language and meaning changes with time. For example, whatever things were written before 1,000 years, it can't be taken into consideration for this era. Okay, its language and context changes with the time. There are records in different languages, not just in one language. For example, it will not be in just English, it will be in Hindi, English, Tamil. Okay, so different languages are used by making records. Example, a term used by Minhaj-e-Siraj means the areas of Punjab and Haryana, and the same word Minhaj-e-Siraj also meant the lands between the Ganga and Yamuna. Now next is Babar used the term Hindustan to describe the geography, the fauna and the culture of inhabitants of the subcontinent. This the people and the animals who live at a place are known as inhabitants. Okay, so Babar used the term Hindustan to describe the geography, fauna and the peoples plus animals of the subcontinent. Next is the term foreigner is now used to mean someone from another nation. Okay, now the same word foreigner in medieval period means a stranger from other village. The same word foreigner in Hindi is known as Pardesi and in Persian it is known as Ajnabi. So you can see that the term foreigner is being used in different ways. Next is historians and their resources. Resources like coins, inscriptions, architecture, textual records are the common sources used by the historians to study the past. Means coins, inscriptions, architecture and textual records are the common sources used by the historians to study the past. Variety of textual records are available. This include holy text, chronicles of rulers, letters and teachings of saints, petition and judicial records, register of accounts and taxes. These are the sources from which the history is written. These were called manuscripts and were collected by wealthy people, rulers, etc., which were kept in libraries and archives. Okay, means it was kept in libraries and archives for the purpose of studying it later. Okay. Next is the social and political rules. The study of 1,000 years between 700 and 1750 is a huge challenge. Okay, because it is a long span of time. Its challenge to historians largely because of the scale and variety of developments that occurred over the period. So many developments occurred during that period. Which period? 700 and 750 BC. Okay. It was a period of great mobility. Groups of of people traveled long distances in search of opportunity. The subcontinent has immense wealth. The possibilities for people to carve a fortune means they had the opportunity for people to carve a fortune, means to lead a happy life. Next is one such group of people was that of Rajputs. Name derived from Rajput, the son of a ruler. Other groups of variants were Marathas, Sikhs, Jats, Ahoms, Kayasthas. All these were a caste of scribes and secretaries. Okay. Now throughout this period, there was a gradual clearing of forests. Means deforestation was done, and the expansion of agriculture and changes in their habitat forced many forest dwellers to migrate. Means they were forced to go from one place to other. Others started tilling the land, became peasants. Now those who were left became peasants. Next is new social and political groups. These new peasant groups gradually began to be influenced by regional markets, chieftains, priests, monasteries and temples. They became a part of large complex societies and were required to pay taxes, offer goods and services to local lords. Okay, means they were forced to pay taxes for the goods they offered to local lords. Some peasants possessed more productive land, means they had the land which were more productive in terms of fertility. Okay, others also kept cattle, and some combined artisanal work with agriculture activity during the lean season. Now furthermore, as society became more differentiated, people were grouped into jatis, which are known as subcastes, and ranked on the basis of their backgrounds, means from which background they come, and their occupations. Ranks were not fixed permanently. Okay, it was fluctuating and varied according to the power, influence, and resources controlled by the jati. Means their position was fluctuating in terms of how much power they have, how much influence they have, and how much resources they control. The status of some jatis would vary from area to area also. Next is jatis framed their own rules and regulations to manage the conduct of their numbers. These regulations were enforced by an assembly of elders described in some areas as the Jati Panchayat. Means elders were given the power to enforce the rules which are made in the communities. But Jatis were also required to follow the rules of their villages. Several villages were governed by a chieftain, means a person who enforces the rules made in the community, is known as the chieftain. Next is region and empire. Large states like those of Cholas, Tughlaqs or Mughals encompassed many regions. Means encompassed means they acquired many regions of their territory. These were considerable conflicts between various states. All these empires were equally or stable or successful. Means this territory was not equally stable or successful due to the conflicts which happened in the numerous occasions. When the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, now remember the date, okay? When the Mughal Empire declined in the 18th century, it led to the re-emergence of regional states, okay? Means local states. Across most of the subcontinent, the regions were left with the legacies of the big and small states that had ruled over them. Means most of the subcontinent areas were left with the legacies, means with their, and the big small states that had ruled over them. Now let's come to a new topic, that is old and new religions. religious developments were to found their way during this period. Means religious development was enforced in this period. Some of the changes in Hinduism were the worship of new deities, the construction of temples by royalty, and the growing importance of Brahmins and the priests as dominant groups in societies. Their knowledge of Sanskrit text earned the Brahmins a lot of respect. What earned them a respect? That is knowledge of Sanskrit. Their dominant position was consolidated by the support of their patrons. New rulers searching for prestige, means they were supported by the Brahmins. Okay. This period saw the emergence of the idea of bhakti, of a loving personality that devotees could reach without the aid of priests or elaborate the rituals and norms which were being followed at that time. Next is now let's come to the new topic, that is Islam. Islam was interpreted in a variety of ways by its followers. There were Shia Muslims. It is the community of Muslims known as Shia Muslims who believed that the Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law Ali was the legitimate leader of the Muslim community. Means they thought that Prophet Muhammad's son-in-law, that was named as Ali, was the legitimate leader of Muslim community. Now the other community, that was Sunni Muslims, who accepted the authority of early leaders known as Khalifas of the community and the succeeding Khalifas. Means they both have the different opinions about their leaders. Next is thinking about time and historical periods. Changes that took place in social and economic organization with the passage of time. In the middle of 19th century, the British historians divided the history of India into three periods, that is Hindu, Muslim and British. This division was based on the idea that religion of rulers was the only important historical change and that there were no other significant developments in the economy, society or culture. Such a division also ignored the rich diversity of subcontinents. Means the main focus was on the religion which was based on the historical change. Next is few historians follow this periodization today also. Most look to economic and social factors to characterize the major elements of different moments of the past. During the medieval period, the society of the subcontinent were transformed often and economies in several regions reached a level of prosperity that attracted the interest of European trading companies. Now in the medieval period, the societies of subcontinent were transformed, means they were changed, and the economies in several regions reached a level of prosperity, means people had enough wealth and they were leading a happy life. That attracted the interest of the European trading companies.